Hello? Hello? Hey guys. Hello, tap the screen. Hey guys, happy Friday. Happy Friday. Tap the screen. Let's get other people in here. Tap the screen, share the live. Man, do we have a lot to talk about today? So many things going on. And man, are some of them mildly or majorly depressing, depending on how you look at it. Guys, tap the screen. Oh, well, look who's here. Hey, we made it
Hello.
to Friday. Yay.
Yay.
Every Friday, I feel like I've done something just by surviving. It's sad, but I do. I literally, every Friday, I'm like, you did it.
I never even know it's Friday anymore. They're all the same.
I know
It's all
that's
the
the
same.
thing about the internet. Yeah, like do week works matter in the same way they matter before? Probably not, but in my mind, I feel like I'm accomplishing something.
Yeah.
I used to, yeah. I mean, and you do lives. Do you do lives on Saturdays, or it depends on your mood?
Yeah, I was going like 6 and 7 days a week, but
I
I
see.
I guess I'm
Okay,
gonna try to go down to 5.
yeah. For your mental health, I think that's probably a good idea.
Yeah.
What am I? Hold on. Where's my? Okay. Sorry. There are so many things. Oh, sorry, guys. Give me 1 second. Oh, there we go. There are so many things to talk about today that are so. What is going on in the news? We are about to. I have the best new Robert Reich video. I'm obsessed with this professor from Berkeley that's just pointing out, like inequality and what's going on. I'm loving it. Guys, are you on Blue Sky? I actually, you know what? When Blue Sky, I like to call it Blue Ski. Who was calling it? Some Republican was like on Fox News or something, being like talking about Blue Ski, and I was like, I can't remember who it was. Some Republican does not know. Hey Frank. Hey Manbag. Yes, I do. I do. I also love to argue with you. We'll have to do that soon. No, yeah, I actually think I have a Blue Sky account. Not that I post on, like, just when it was in beta and they were like contacting creators. I think I made one, but like I never posted anything to it. But I probably need to start because I have seen the mass exodus from X. I feel like I have to be on X though. Like, I consider one of my jobs to monitor what MAGA's up to. So I feel like the best place to do that is to be on X in the trenches, where they're making all their plans. But yeah, I probably should. Have I read, or Phil, I'm just gonna act like you addressed that to me since I happened to see it. Yeah, I have read up on the fake Department of Government Efficiency and their like resume requirements. Again, it's important to note that that is not a real thing. But yeah, I have read up on it.
Let's take a look.
Yeah, it's like they're basically like wanting volunteers to do slave labor. I'm pretty sure is what's going on with that. It's volunteer slave labor. Yeah. Like a billionaire, the richest man in the world, and a guy who got rich defrauding people, defrauding Alzheimer's patients with a pump and dump scheme, is asking people to work for like 80 hours a week for free.
Makes sense.
Makes
Makes sense.
sense.
Ooh, ooh, ooh.
While
Ooh,
Elon
ooh,
Musk
me.
could, like, yeah. Yeah, can I please work for the richest man on earth for free? That's also, I don't know if you guys know about Elon Musk and what he does, but like part of the reason he hires people with specific work visas that aren't citizens, like programmers, coders, engineers, so he doesn't have to pay people what they're worth. Like this is what he does. The richest man in the world doesn't want to pay anyone a living wage. Why am I not why am I not surprised? It's absolutely insane and it's offensive. Super offensive.
This quote, this will be tedious work, make lots of enemies, and compensation is zero. Love it.
Yeah, this will be tedious work, make lots of enemies, and compensation is zero. The richest man in the world can't find some change in his couch to pay people for the fake government department he started. Like, It's it's sickening. Like there's no other words for this. It's absolutely sickening. Guys, tap the screen, share the live with all the people you don't want to see at Thanksgiving. Maybe they'll learn something today. Let's keep tapping the screen. Gift. This is Pickles Venmo and Cash App if you would like to donate. Uh we do rely on your tips and donations to keep our shows going. This is mine. A girl has no name. If you would like to a message to be read out loud during the show, donate and I will read it. I needed to say from yesterday, by the way. I think Ty Blackman, thank you for your donation. And he said at 2:36, did you see the Onion bought InfoWars? So that was probably right before I went into my like speech about the Onion buying InfoWars, which is the greatest thing. Did you see their first? I don't know if they control the InfoWars Twitter. I think they might, but this morning the InfoWars Twitter tweeted like, "I hate the Onion," and I'm like, "Is that the Onion?" Because that is the type of stuff they do. Like trolling themselves, pretending to be Alex Jones, or is that Alex Jones? It's fascinating. I do look very cutesy. You guys, my new thing, can I just, this is weird, but while we're waiting for a few more people to get here, I'll just tell you. My new thing, and I think everyone should get into it, is just like I used to be a tennis player. Like, I mean, I played volleyball in college, but I used to want to be a tennis player. So I've just started wearing tennis clothes. Like most of the clothes I've been wearing lately are tennis and golf clothes. I look adorable. If you and they, I love them. I just started wearing all tennis and golf clothes. That is my new thing. Yeah, I'm
I
telling
love
you
it. I
guys.
love it.
Yeah, women just wear tennis and golf clothes. It's adorable clothes. And I'm also thinking about getting into the pickleball craze. The fastest growing sport in the United States is pickleball. And like, I used to be a tennis player, and it's like pickleball's just a small tennis court. I have extremely long arms. So you're saying I can work less and still wear adorable
Yeah.
outfits? Like, I think I'm going to be in on the pickleball thing.
It's like chill tennis.
Yeah, exactly. It's like ping pong, but like, it's like a giant ping pong court. It's like a life-size ping pong court. I know, I'm 2 decades too young. I know. I'm basically just gonna go because I walk like 10 miles a day. I just wander around Phoenix, and I always wander by these pickleball courts where these like old men are playing every day, and I'm just gonna ask if I'm like allowed to play one day. I'm just gonna wear one of these outfits and bring a racket and be like, somebody let me play. I'm great at, they would be lucky to have me on their team.
You're gonna shark them. You're gonna be like, I've never played this before,
No,
and then
you
you're just
guys,
gonna.
young people are playing pickleball now too. Do you guys it's so how I'm always researching things like when I'm interested in something. Well, the fastest growing lawsuits in Beverly Hills. This is a true story. This is rich people tea. The fastest growing type of lawsuit in Beverly Hills is lawsuits about that staccato sound of pickleball courts. Like rich people in Beverly Hills are suing each other because people are playing, yeah, like that annoying staccato sound of the ball hitting the rackets is driving like millionaires and billionaires crazy. So they're suing each other about the hours that they're playing pickleball in their mansions. That's rich people problems.
It's wild. Why can't you just afford like soundproof windows?
I know exactly. Okay, hold on. Before we start, Shuckit has been stalking me. Shuckit, if you want me to let you up here, you need to speak in good faith. Don't be an a-hole. But he's gone. Never mind, Shuckit. That was your chance. I was feeling nice for 5 seconds. I was gonna talk to. Oh, he's back. Hold on. Oh, wait, he's gone. Why every time I click on this does it say, "Oh, he's back."
Hey,
This is our Friday tradition. So, what kind of BS are you on today?
I was just coming to say hi. Your moderator keeps rejecting me.
I know, I know. That's because I'm a little
I'm
bit sick
always
of you.
nice to you.
Shuck it. It's not about if you're nice to me. It's about I just want to have debates in good faith now. I don't think you don't debate in good faith. Like you just have a set of beliefs and the truth doesn't matter.
Not true, but there's no need to debate anymore. The election's over. I mean, you guys got to do your thing now, make a decision, and figure out what went wrong. I think I know what went wrong, but we might not agree.
No, shuck it. That's not really what I do though. What I do every day, you might have noticed, what I did before the election is the same exact thing I'm doing now, which is basically just saying the truth. Like the
But
facts
that,
I no, Shuck it. The facts I delivered before the election are still facts now. That's my job is just to state facts.
but that's what surprises me. I see a lot of it. You're not the only one. All the Democrats and left are still on the same talking points post election, which blows my mind. To be honest, I would have thought you change that a little bit and try to figure out like a path going
Oh, you
forward. Because
mean you're upset that people are still saying the truth? Yeah,
oh no, I'm
that's
not
the
upset at all.
thing.
I
Well,
think
no, that's the thing. The reason no one's changed what they're saying is because it's the truth. Like, that's what you're having a hard time understanding. Like, people are just saying the truth. So, the truth and facts and empirical evidence does not change, regardless. You guys think, oh, we won, so people are going to stop saying the truth. No, we just continue saying it.
oh, listen, if you just want to continue on the same path as pre-elect, I'm all for it. Continue the same stuff.
No,
It's
no,
I'll be
shuck
Hey,
very
it.
happy.
I'm going to say the truth.
what
Okay.
did you guys change after the last election?
What did we change after the last election?
Yeah,
Nothing. We didn't.
yeah. Well, there you
We didn't
go.
have to
There you go.
because we knew we were gonna win this time,
There you go.
There you have it.
and we were right. We won just like we thought.
All right. Well, we're not going to change, and we're going to win next time.
All
See
right.
how that
Well,
works?
and Chuck it, whenever you're wondering why I don't let you up here, it's because you don't debate in good faith. You just came up here on a Friday and said, God, it's so weird that you guys are still telling the truth. Yeah, like the true empirical evidence is empirical evidence. That seems to be the weird thing about MAGA that I'm starting to truly not be able to stand is like, yeah, facts are always going to be the facts, and I'm gonna have to say them. So yeah, sorry. I'm sorry everyone had to. So I thought maybe Shuckett had had a change of heart and was less annoying, but no, I'm sorry. We'll check on him every Friday. Shuckett, come back next Friday and we'll see if you've had a lobotomy or, a come to Jesus moment or something of that nature. And maybe you'll be interested in receiving the facts. But it seems as of now, you seem to be annoyed by people who are presenting the facts. So we have to move on. Do you guys remember Ryan J. Walter? Because I have to get this out. He's the worst. So
Is
Ryan
that
J.
the guy
Walter.
with the books?
Oh, yeah. He's the superintendent of public instruction in Oklahoma. Oklahoma is a backwards, messed up place. No offense. I mean, your government is he's the superintendent of public instruction in Oklahoma. He's a self-professed Christian nationalist. His wife, and I always like to say this. So, one of the scariest people in Trump's administration, oh my God, I just forgot his name. What I'm always saying his name. His name is Russ. What is his last name? His name's Russ something. To give you an idea of how small the Christian nationalist world is, he's like the architect, one of the architects of Project 2025. He like used to run the office of management and budget for Trump in his last Russ Vote. Thank you. Yeah, Russ Vote. Like it's the Christian. He's a self-professed Christian nationalist as well. His wife, Russ Vote's wife. So the one of the major architects of Project 2025 that ran Trump's office of management and budget last time, right? His wife, right, is runs a Christian nationalist PR firm. She is Ryan J. Walters' PR rep. Like it's a small world. All these people are related. But if you don't know, let me give you some back. Ryan J. Walters put like PragerU in schools in Oklahoma. He hired libs of TikTok. God, why my brain's not working today? It's been a long week. I'm a little tired. He hired her name's Haya Rychek, right? The woman, she's an Orthodox Jew who runs libs of TikTok. He hired her to consult I don't know if you guys know your taxpayers' dollars are being paid to someone who it's been empirically tracked back has incited like rage in schools that led, there was a student. Um, I I'm not sure what their pronouns are. I think they them. Nex Benedict was unalived in an Oklahoma school bathroom, right? Like this has all been tracked back to posts that were put on libs of TikTok's profiles. Yeah. So anyways, Ryan J. Walters is gross. He used to make videos in his car and scream about, how he loved Donald Trump. Now he has like a background similar to Trump's. But there were these budget meetings where people were super outraged in Oklahoma because he presented like the budget. So what's important to know is, and I don't know how this is legal or not, like having the 10 commandments in schools in Louisiana was just struck down by a federal judge. But in Oklahoma schools, as I understand it, because I listened to the budget meeting when everyone was like, what the F are you talking about to this guy? They have tablets, like students have tablets. On every tablet is a digital copy of the Bible. Okay. So it's not like these kids don't have access to the Bible already. They have a digital copy on their tablets. But Crazy McCrazerton, Ryan J. Walters, demanded that they buy physical copies of the Bible, so each kid could like hold one and feel it, I guess. He said they had to buy 55,000 Bibles with taxpayer money and forced every public school teacher to teach from it. Now he's and it's shocker, it turns out it's the Trump Bible. So we're talking about, remember, Trump Bibles are $60. You can get Bibles for much cheaper. I hate to be the bearer of bad news. He's buying Trump Bibles, wasting taxpayer dollars.
Yeah, and didn't Trump get them for $3 a pop from China?
Oh yeah, for sure, for sure.
There was a article
Yeah,
saying
there's
that
dollar store Bibles. Thank you, Raf. There are dollar store Bibles.
they tracked the shipment, and they said, like, based on the customs documents, that they estimate the Bibles to have cost $3 a piece.
Yeah, just like his
Yeah.
shoes. Just like his shoes, he's robbing everybody, but selling. Yeah. Not unlike that. So yeah, that's what's going on. So again, I just want to say, because like what I noticed when I was listening to the people who are very angry when he was presenting his budget is they're like, we're not saying the kids like shouldn't have access to the Bible. It's on their tablets. Like they already, so we are now spending money this is what we're saying. If you want Trump to support you, if like this guy is looking for upward trajectory inside MAGA, you buy something of Trump's, right? Just like when foreign dignitary or foreign governments want favors from Trump, what were they doing? They were booking hotel rooms for exorbitant prices in Trump hotels. This guy's wasting taxpayer money on Bibles. I just thought I should mention that because Ryan J. Walters is a particular sore spot for me. He drives me insane. Guys, keep tapping the screen. Tap, tap, tap. We are learning, but this is also a finger workout. Oh, and real quick, I just wanted to say when I was having, after the election, when I wasn't live for a while, it was reevaluating my life. Jenny Mars, thank you so much for the donation you sent me. I don't think I ever said anything because I was like in a dark place and not online. And you were so nice and you sent me a nice message. So I just wanted to say thank you for that because I remembered I never announced it. Okay. So I need to pull up my outline on another device. Okay. This is Elizabeth Warren, right? And she's specifically talking about Tulsi Gabbard. I've been doing more research on Tulsi Gabbard. We should be definitely concerned about Tulsi Gabbard being in charge of being the director of national intelligence.
Many things I disagree with Marco Rubio on, and I haven't decided yet about voting for him, but he is qualified. He has experience. We may have differences that would cause me to say I don't think that he should be Secretary of State, and we'll go through that. We'll listen to the hearings. I want to hear very carefully from him. But what we're talking about with people like Matt Gaetz is very different from what we're talking about with people like Marco Rubio. And we just have to keep that in mind. But do understand with Matt Gaetz, and you've already made this point, he's not the only one out there who is unqualified and who raises whole questions like Tulsi Gabbard does. You really want her to have all of the secrets of the United States and our defense intelligence agencies when she has so clearly been in Putin's pocket? That just has to be a hard no.
When she has so
Eek.
clearly been in Putin's pocket, that's what we're doing now. Our president is an op, is a Russian op. Why not make, I guess, the person that has the director of national intelligence be a Russian op too? I mean, it makes perfect sense. This is someone, while we were engaged in military action, we are in a proxy war with, against Syria. She went and met with al-Assad, the Syrian dictator, while we, American military, is engaged in a war against them. She went and met with him while she was just in the house. And she's like, oh, I didn't mean to do that. Really, didn't you? It seems pretty weird that you did that. What are your thoughts, Pickles?
Yeah, I think it's wacky. You're I don't know. I don't know what to add to that, but yeah, you were mentioning yesterday that didn't Nome do some weird trip to Russia too?
No, she lied. No, what Kristi Noem did is say, right? Kristi Noem just went with like other people, a group of like, I don't know if it was senators or Congress people at the time. I think that's what it was, to North Korea. And when her book came out, we were all mainly focused on her unaliving her pet in a gravel pit.
Yeah.
But one of the other parts of that was that she said she lied and said she had met with Kim Jong-un. But really what happened was just some like Congress people went to the DMZ. And then everyone's like, hey, why don't you like admit you lied? She wouldn't admit it, but like she couldn't confirm it. They're like, then prove it. Like you met with Kim Jong, you crossed the DMZ and met with Kim Jong-un, like prove it. And she never did. And she's now she's in charge of DHS. She's the Department of Homeland Security.
Yeah, terrifying.
She's another liar. No, Musk didn't go to Iran, Frank, but thank you for reading some headlines and noticing that. He met with, like, who did he meet with? Iranian ambassadors and things. Yeah. Ilania Muscardina is the new first lady who apparently is going to be very active in our government. No signs of Melania, but we have Ilania. To hold Trump's hand, and apparently we're letting the richest man, we're supposed to be getting money out of politics, but the richest man in the world is now meeting with Iran. Like, cool. These are the people that were trying to actively unalive Trump too. Like maybe he's worried about it. So, anyways, this is John Bolton. If you guys don't, let me just give you some background on who John Bolton is so you can understand how wild it is when John Bolton says, "Hey, this is a problem that this is happening." John Bolton, when George W. Bush was president, remember when we all thought things were out of control back then? How funny it really is now to look back.
Yeah.
But George W. Bush, who was literally allowing two crazy people to run the government. I mean, he had Dick Cheney and Donald Rumsfeld, who thought stress positions weren't torture and, were like slanging WMDs in the 70s. There's like pictures of Donald Rumsfeld, like, like these are two scary people who he let run the government. And George W. Bush was like, John Bolton is insane. I can't work with this guy. I'm scared of him. Like, this man is nuts, right? And imagine when John Bolton worked for Trump when Trump was elected in 2016, and John Bolton said, I can't work with Donald Trump. Donald Trump is insane. Like, George W. Bush thought John Bolton was going to like cause a nuclear war. Like, that's how insane he was. And John Bolton's like, hey, Donald Trump's insane. Everyone should be very, very worried about Donald Trump. If George W. Bush was scared of this man and was like, I can't work with him, like he's gonna get America into something bad. And now John Bolton is like, hey, I'm really scared of Donald Trump. I'm just trying to set the stage for where we're at in America.
Tulsi Gabbard, what are your thoughts this morning?
Well, I thought...
Tulsi Gabbard.
Oopsies. Sorry.
What are your thoughts this morning?
Well, I thought it was the worst cabinet level appointment in history until they then heard about the Matt Gaetz appointment. Really, my reaction was that this is like the legend of Caligula, the Roman emperor, who wanted to nominate his horse as a Roman consul. You had to be a Roman senator at the time to be a consul, and it was intended to show how demeaned and degraded the Roman Senate had become. So now we're going to see whether the American Senate can stand up and reject two people who are totally unqualified, unfit professionally, and really lacking in the moral characteristics, the character that you need to hold these jobs. I think this vote should be 100-0 against both of them.
Damn.
Pickles, will you mute when you move your water bottle? Because the ice is
Yes, I'm so
yeah. Oh no, it's fine. It's just the ice is like so loud. We can hear it. Yeah. So I'm just trying to give you George W. Bush, who we all see as like a scary warmonger, was like, I can't work with John Bolton. He's crazy. And John Bolton is like, I can't work with Trump. He's crazy. And now John Bolton is here as the voice of reason in 2024 saying, we cannot let these people be confirmed. But that's what it is. It's a Trump loyalty test. And they're saying this all over the halls. They're saying this all over the halls of Congress. Like, whichever Republican senators don't go along, they'll primary. They will use the full force. I think it was Marjorie Taylor Greene, which is interesting because she's very upset. Like, she wanted to be Kristi Noem. Marjorie Taylor Greene thought she was going to be Kristi Noem, and she got passed over. But Marjorie Taylor Greene is in the halls of Congress yesterday saying, like, either you confirm these people or do you want to go against Elon Musk's, like, the largest, most well-funded PAC in history? They're saying, we will bury you. We will primary you. Either you do what we want or you are out of government.
Authoritarianism. That's it. He wants full control. Full control. Like, they don't vote for the way your constituents say, vote the way we say.
Exactly. That's where we're at now. Oh, I just thought this is so funny. You guys, I mean, I'll talk about this more later on in the show, but can we just say that Trump's government's is looking amazing for white people? Where's Tim Scott? Tim Scott You're a black man who's been carrying water for Donald Trump, pretending that he's not a racist. Tim Scott, where's your cabinet appointment? It's the weirdest thing. I don't see Tim Scott in here. Where's Byron Donalds? What's going on? I thought when he needed the black vote, Byron, you were really important to him. Where'd you go? All I see are white people. Oh, wait, and Vivek, a billionaire. Or no, I don't think he's technically a billionaire. I don't want to name him. Just hundreds and hundreds of millionaire. And he's not part of the government. He's part of the fake agency where they put Vivek and Elon. So I just want to be clear. We have all white people. I did the puzzle piece without. Yay, our live's not going to shut down. That's my second day in a row not missing the puzzle piece. Anyway. So all we have are white people here. Actually, I'm just going to show you guys this earlier because I think it's probably the best time to show you now. I'm just going to skip ahead. Do you guys know Keith Boykin? He's on, I don't know if he's an actual, I don't think he has his own show on CNN, but he's like always on CNN. He's a commentator. I absolutely love him. Oopsies, I didn't mean to do that. So this will blow your mind.
For as long as I live, I never want to hear another word from a Trump supporter about DEI, affirmative action, or meritocracy after they voted for Donald Trump to be the first person ever elected president with no experience in government or military, voted for him again in 2024 as the first convicted felon ever elected president, allowed J.D. Vance to become vice president with no experience in elected office until last year, and now picked a white Fox News host to replace a black four-star general as Secretary of Defense. And for Attorney General, the nation's top law enforcement officer, they picked an insurrectionist who had to abruptly resign from Congress this week to stop the release of an ethics report after allegations of misappropriating campaign funds or personal expenses, illegal drug use, sharing sex videos on the House floor, sleeping with a 17-year-old, and child sex trafficking. It's not about qualifications. America has never cared about qualifications or meritocracy. For white people, they only bring that up with black people, women, and any other group of people they dislike at the moment. If you're a straight white male or politically conservative, they couldn't care less about your qualifications. And don't give me any lip about women and people of color in the Republican Party. They are an afterthought who only exist to own the libs and must subscribe to the GOP's hierarchy of patriarchal white supremacy. This is how Republicans play identity politics. If Democrats get a woman, they'll find a woman. If Democrats get a black person, they'll find a black person. As long as the woman or black person follows their narrow conservative political beliefs, the qualifications don't matter. That's why they picked unqualified Clarence Thomas to replace the legendary Thurgood Marshall of the Supreme Court in 1991. Why they picked unqualified Alan Keyes, a random black guy from Maryland, to run against Barack Obama for the U.S. Senate seat in Illinois in 2004. Why they rushed to find unqualified Sarah Palin from Alaska after Senator Hillary Clinton got 18 million votes in 2008. Why they rammed through Amy Coney Barrett after only 3 years as a judge to replace the legendary Ruth Bader Ginsburg on the nation's highest court before the presidential election in 2020, and why they picked retired football player Herschel Walker to run against Senator Raphael Warnock for U.S. Senate in 2022. Vice President Kamala Harris had federal, state, and local experience and worked with all three branches of government, and they still called her unqualified. Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson graduated from Harvard undergrad, Harvard Law, clerked for Supreme Court Justice, served on the U.S. Sentencing Commission, a federal district court, and a federal appellate court, was the first former public defender to join the U.S. Supreme Court, and had more experience than any other justice in the court when they were nominated, but they still claimed she was unqualified. They called the duly elected mayor of Baltimore the DEI mayor just because he was black and happened to be in office at the time of bridge collapse. And they called Biden's entire cabinet a DEI cabinet just because he picked experienced, qualified leaders who weren't all straight white men. This is the delusional brainwashing of white supremacy. And for the Tim Scotts and Byron Donalds and black and brown enablers who occupy the lowest plank of the totem pole in the Republican Party, don't think they won't come for you if you ever dare to grow a backbone and step out of line. To paraphrase Jay-Z's use of the N-word in a way that won't get me censored on this platform: light black, dark black, faux black, real black, rich black, poor black, house black, field black, still black.
Preach, Keith. Preach. I mean,
Damn.
mic drop. Should we all just quit and go home? Did he say it? Like, should we just end the show after that? I was going to end the show on that, but then I was like, it's just time to. Keith Boykin, his name is Keith Boykin, if you want to follow him, Boykin. He's absolutely amazing. But imagine the nerve of Charlie Kirk to say black pilots are DEI hires. Trump has nominated people with less than no qualifications. The only thing a lot of them have in common is they seem to be, is their shared love of abusing women. I was looking at things I could say, oh, all these people have something in common. It seems the men are all SAers. Like, that's all I can really see that they all share. It's definitely not qualifications. How dare you call the head of the EPA a black job? That man was a scientist. Trump appointed somebody to be home health secretary. That's not a doctor. That knows nothing about anything. Sorry, it's Keith Boykin, Boykin. More importantly, though, every single clip I play is put in the Discord in the live sources section. If you want to join the Discord where you can have access to everything I play, you can use it, take it to Thanksgiving, hold this clip up on an iPad and play it for your MAGA family. That's what I plan on doing. Just message at Feliz Navidad Live. It's a TikTok business account, and I will get you. And these clips are all put in the Discord every day. Wait, I have one more to show you too, because I just thought this one was so apropos. This is, do you see this? It says, "Where is my cabinet position?"
Oh my god.
It's,
I love Charlie Murphy.
yeah. Where is your cabinet position, Tim Scott? You've been carrying water for the Republican Party this whole time. It's I said Boykin, Boikin, but I'm not acknowledging the comments anymore. Again, if you want access to all these clips, you can just join the Discord at Feliz Navidad Live. And then someone else in the comments can explain to him what the name is if you missed it. Okay. Anyways, I'm going to go back to where we left off because I think it's absolutely ridiculous that everyone in Trump's administration is seemingly white. And then everyone acted surprised. Like, oh, I guess Marco Rubio's Cuban. We could say that. We could say that. There you go. There you go, Hispanics. Congratulations. But again, I just want to point this stuff out because this is real, right? Is anyone shocked? Is anyone shocked that sometime in 2017 at some sort of Republican women's conference just before midnight in Santa Barbara, this occurred? I don't know. I don't know. There's police reports about it. Someone needs to file a Freedom of Information Act and get the police report. What do you know? We got another one. Trump wants does anyone find it weird that we elected somebody who has been found liable of SA and seemingly purposely is surrounding himself with other people who also like to hurt women and children? Keep tapping the screen, guys. Tap, tap, tap. Share the live gift. Please subscribe. All of the research I do, this takes me like 6 hours a day. All of the research I do is funded by your support. So if you like what I do and you would like me to keep doing it, please subscribe. Or it's much better if rather than TikTok gifts, just gift through Cash App or Venmo. Anyways. Again, I think I'm gonna do an expose. I just was looking them all up, like, I have them all saved. I think I'm gonna go through the Joel Greenberg court documents if I can find them all. That's Gates's Michael Cohen I was telling you about. You know how Michael Cohen went to jail for Donald Trump? Well, Matt Gaetz has a Michael Cohen. His name's Joel Greenberg, and he's serving 11 years in jail for helping to traffic women for Matt Gaetz. So I think we should get those court documents and take a little look-see into them and see what we find. Yeah. Tulsi Gabbard, another red flag.
Oh,
This
I'm sorry, I
guy.
was muted. Speaker, we just got 2 hours ago, they released that Johnson is going to refuse to release this ethics
Well, he's
report.
saying he's strongly suggesting they do not.
Okay, so
I
he
don't
has no control. He can only
I don't
suggest.
know if I'm not sure. He is the Speaker of the House. So I actually don't know, but I mean, these are people like there are it's not just Democrats in the Senate that are asking for it. There are also Republicans in the Senate who are asking for it. So I am actually not sure. But that's what like I have some stuff on that. That's what I was going to get to. Um hold on. Oh yeah, I just thought in case anyone thought RFK is not one of these people, he is.
Yeah.
And all of the links to these stories that I'm talking about, they're all you also can look them up. He has a long history of being part of this, right? Independent presidential candidate RFK has apologized to a former family babysitter who accused him of SA. The woman, Eliza Cooney, told Vanity Fair in an article earlier this month that Kennedy groped her in the family kitchen when she was employed as a part-time babysitter in the late 1990s by Kennedy and his then wife, Mary Richardson. Your child babysitter. Very interesting. Anyways, I'm just saying these are just parts of this. But I think the most interesting part is this. His explanation for why he basically texted her, you can read it through here, and said like, "Well, I don't really remember, but if I did, I'm sorry," kind of thing. And then when asked to comment previously on the SA allegation, Kennedy said, I quote, "I had a very, very rambunctious youth." Yeah, that's what I say when I'm essaying children. I say I had a rambunctious youth. Cool. Makes sense. Yeah, and I don't know if I encourage everyone to look up this story. This is a New York Post story if you've never heard of it. Like RFK's wife unalived herself. Has anyone ever heard of this story and why?
Yeah.
Ron Filipkowski was tweeting about this yesterday. I assume at some point during the RFK Jr. confirmation process, we're going to be investigating the circumstances and details surrounding the SEX diary. Yeah, like
Oof, oof.
RFK Jr.'s secret SEX diary, his hidden document of affairs found by late wife who unalived herself, and his secret code for women he bedded. It seems the only requirement to be around Donald Trump, and that is one of the tenets of fascism. That's why, like, people, I love what MAGA's like, like you're calling us fascist. Why don't you look up what it is? It's pervasive disrespect and misogyny against women. There seems to be a theme here around the people Trump surrounds himself. RFK Jr. grappled with what he called his biggest defect, quote, "my lust demons." Yeah, cool. Gross. The thick red journal was found in their home by his wife, Mary Richardson Kennedy, who, distraught over their impending divorce and Kennedy's serial philandering, unalived herself last year. Why are these things not disqualifying? Why is horrific abuse against women not disqualifying? I will just keep asking it. Buddy, you don't know what communists are. That's the problem. You have no idea what that even means. I've been over this with you. I don't know why you're here. Moving on, I just wanted to prove that it's not just Trump. Like, I come from the tech industry. The tech industry is 90% male, 10% female. Like, this was my experience there. This is exactly what my experience in the tech industry was. It says, the 8 employees were all fired in 2022 after they circulated an open letter within SpaceX alleging that Musk's behavior in the public sphere is a frequent source of distraction and embarrassment, and The lawsuit alleges that Musk runs his company in the dark ages, treating women as sexual objects to be evaluated on their bra size, bombarding the workplace with lewd sexual banter, and offering the reprise to those who challenge the animal house environment. That if they don't like it, they can seek employment elsewhere. Yeah, if for anyone who hasn't had the pleasure of working in the tech industry, that's about sums it up. And anyways, this is a Vanity Fair article. Also, all these articles, there's links to these articles in the outline. Again, about our new Secretary of Defense, who doesn't want women in combat, but seems to also enjoy assaulting them. Make it make sense. I don't know. This is this morning, by the way. Like, this is this morning.
As you know, Gates is Trump's pick for Attorney General. He was the subject of an ethics committee investigation over whether he engaged in sexual misconduct and illicit drug use. The committee was supposed to vote on whether to release that report on Gates today, but now that Gates has resigned from Congress, the report has been scrapped. What are your thoughts on Matt Gaetz? Can he actually get confirmed, or is it not? He's not getting confirmed, and everybody knows that.
Look, Matt Gaetz is a brilliant legal mind. Matt Gaetz he will be the left.
You can be a brilliant legal mind and also essay children. They are not mutually exclusive. Just to be clear on that.
Socialist's worst enemy. I think he will get confirmed. Matt can handle himself. He has nothing to hide. The DOJ dismissed all the charges. The political witch hunt, and Matt knows this. The political.
Yes, and great point, Parkers. Also, no, he isn't a brilliant legal mind. I would say no. I will say this though. Like, I just want to say something. Do not sleep on Matt Gaetz. Like, as somebody who was raised by monsters, and I don't mean that as an insult. I mean people who are highly intelligent and also would lack empathy. Like, Matt Gaetz is highly intelligent. Like, so I'll just say that. I don't know if he's dedicated his life to the practice of law, but I know that Matt Gaetz is highly intelligent. Game recognizes game. He's one of the smartest. So don't sleep on Matt Gaetz. He's someone we need to keep an eye on for sure.
Hunt on the ethics reports have been done by House members, and we know who pushed that against him. He pushed back. DOJ dismissed it, but he has nothing to hide. Matt Gaetz is a tremendous pick. You can trust what he does, and he's a risk taker, which is good and is what's needed in that position.
Okay, that's good to have to hear from you, because I know some of your colleagues don't feel that way.
Yeah, so just to be clear, there are more Congress people saying the exact opposite, right? There are people saying the exact opposite in the halls of Congress, right? Like Senator Mark Wayne Mullin's one of them, saying, no, like, I said this because it was firsthand knowledge. Like, the ethics report against him, a lot of that, other than like, no, they weren't there for the SEX trafficking, other than what the DOJ was investigating, is firsthand accounts. He showed this stuff to other Congress people. Oh, yeah, and I just wanna clarify this too. So the lawyer for the girl, the 17-year-old that was S-trafficked for Matt Gaetz's pleasure, allegedly, the lawyers, this is a Politico article, which is in today's outline. The lawyer of the alleged Matt Gaetz victim says, release House ethics report immediately, right? Mr. Gaetz' likely nomination as Attorney General is a perverse development in a truly dark series of events, wrote attorney John Clune. This is the girl's attorney. And he is saying, let me just read some. There was a quote I wanted to read. Yeah, the lawyer representing a woman, former Representative Matt Gaetz, allegedly had sex with when she was a minor, called on the House Ethics Committee to immediately release its report into his alleged conduct. Mr. Gaetz is likely nominated. Oh, I read that part. It says, here's the quote I wanted to read. Quote, "We would support the House Ethics Committee immediately releasing their report. She was a high school student and there were witnesses." This is the lawyer that represented her during this House ethics investigation. And that's what was being reported in the press. As someone who follows all this stuff very closely, was like, the DOJ, why they killed the investigation, no one knows. But the ethics committee found witnesses.
So it says that so the ethics committee is a 10-member committee, 5 Republicans, 5
Bipartisan, yeah.
Democrats,
Bipartisan.
and so they only need 1 Republican member to vote to release it.
Yeah, well,
And
and they were
I've got a
supposed to
feeling
meet today. They were going to vote today, and they
Yeah.
postponed the meeting because Mike Johnson is trying to convince the Republicans on the committee to not vote to release it. They were supposed to vote today. That's what was supposed to happen today, was a vote to decide. Well, if Matt Gaetz hadn't resigned, they were going to discipline him and release the report. But he resigned. And today they were supposed to vote on what to do with the report. And the meeting was allegedly postponed.
So Matt Gaetz' status doesn't make a difference on whether or not they can release it. It's just the fact that, yeah, they can choose not to
Well,
now.
if he
It's
was
not,
still,
they
if
have
he
no
was
real
a
interest.
member of the House, he was going to be disciplined today. Like they
Yeah.
were going to release the report and discipline him. But because he resigned, they technically have no jurisdiction over him. So, I mean, they could vote to release the report. I don't know if Johnson has the sway or doesn't have the sway to stop that from happening. I don't know. But I imagine, again, just think about the pressure that's being put on the Senate Republicans. You go against Donald Trump, we primary you. We have the richest man in America who has a super PAC and has an endless amount of money to ruin your political career. Is it worth it? That's what they're saying. Like, that's the
Yeah.
reality of the situation. I mean, do you want to ruin your political career? And there were moderate Republicans in the House in the 118th Congress that said, yeah, sure. Like, I'm leaving anyways. I hate it here. Like, I'm not going to lie for you. But I mean, I don't know. We shall see. Anyways, here's another. This is another part. Wait. Oh, yeah. This is very interesting and disturbing.
Do you think they can cut $2 trillion in waste?
Maria, it'll be more than that. I mean, what President Trump has done, a couple of things. One, he's gotten the enthusiasm of the whole country. The votes showed that. The election night showed that. Secondly, he's putting business people that have done it. Look at what Elon Musk has done. Look at what Vivek's done. They've actually built something. The only thing the Biden administration had were these pencil-necked elites who had never done anything other than get a government paycheck.
Okay, so again, Elon Musk is a Nepo baby who got his money out from blood rubies. What are you talking about? He's never done anything. He just buys other people's intellectual property.
Yeah, he just has a long history of buying things and pushing people out of the ownership position.
He just said, like, I just want to point out, he said the entire discretionary, like, or what's most important is he said they're going to cut 2 trillion from the budget.
Yeah.
So just
Good luck.
understand, no, but understand what he's saying. The entire discretionary budget is 1.7 trillion of the total $6 trillion federal budget. So to achieve this and keep any remnants of a government, right, they will need to cut Social Security and Medicare. That's what they're talking about. The money can't come from anywhere else and still have a government. So this is what Ralph Norman's been talking about. I'm just saying, if he's serious about 2 trillion, they're talking about Social Security and Medicare. They can't be talking about anything else. The numbers don't make sense. Oh, okay, so I did. Yes, this is Fred Wellman who said who was saying this. I didn't know if I screenshotted it. Yeah, so perfect. And if you don't follow Fred Wellman, I suggest you follow him because he's really smart. But he's pointing this out. Like the entire discretionary budget is 1.7 trillion of a 6 trillion federal budget. To achieve this and keep any remnants of government number, they will need to cut Social Security and Medicare. So Wellman, Wellll, and on X he's FP Wellman, Wellman, FP Wellman. He's great, super smart. Oh, and this is oopsies. This is the clip. This is them reading yesterday Matt Gaetz' resignation in the House. I feel so bad for this clerk that has to work for the Republicans. She's a saint.
The Honorable, the Speaker, House of Representatives, sir, I hereby resign as a United States Representative for Florida's 1st Congressional District, effective immediately, and I do not intend to take the oath of office for the same office in the 119th Congress to pursue the position of Attorney General in the Trump administration. Signed sincerely, Matt Gaetz, Member of Congress.
I'm a creep who got caught, and I can't let this report come out, or it would be damning to my very rich father. So I am resigning, and I will see you guys on the flip side when Trump forces you to confirm me into a job I have no business having. That's what I heard. What did you hear?
I don't see one bigger parallel than like Matt Gaetz escaping responsibility for this and being the head of, or being AG, and Trump escaping all of his crimes, becoming president. It's the same thing. It's wild.
Isn't it just? And he's looking for people that have had the same trajectory, right? So if Trump surrounds him, if everyone's guilty of the same thing, you're exactly right. Then Trump looks less bad. Well, it's the both sides are, well, everyone essays women. That's why they had to make it look like Biden, had essayed someone. And they can't disprove that Trump hurts women. So it's just the argument then becomes, well, if everyone essays women, right? Like that's one of the tenets of fascism is misogyny, is discrimination and a marginalizing of women to make them not humans but objects. So I could not agree with you more, and I think that's a very astute observation. He wants everyone around him to have been credibly accused of SA. It makes him just look like one in the pack, right? Not like, wow, we have this criminal that stands out at the top of our government. It's like, look, everyone's a criminal. So it gives him cover.
And timing of Mr. Gaetz' resignation from the House raises serious questions about the contents of the House Ethics Committee report. We cannot allow this valuable information from a bipartisan investigation to be hidden from the American people.
I am going to demand release of the Ethics Committee report, all of its findings and recommendations.
That second guy's Blumenthal. That's a Republican. So just saying. Sorry, I had to eat a piece of candy. That's not talking for a second. No, so yeah, the first guy was Dick Durbin, right? And so like they're calling for the report to be preserved. We shall see, right? Remember I was talking to you guys about Mike Lawler? I was hoping he didn't win re-election because I don't like him. But he is one of the Republicans that hates Matt Gaetz. Is like, this guy is a creep who's like talking about, essaying women on the House floor and showing us pictures and all of this and that. And yesterday they were talking to him and he still hates Matt Gaetz.
Pretty sure I called him a clown and a charlatan.
You stand by that?
Yeah.
Separate news. One quick question: should a clown and a charlatan run the Justice Department?
Look, obviously, the president has every right to nominate who he chooses. There will be a confirmation process. We'll let that process play it out.
Yeah. Perfect non-answer.
But that's as close as you can get, right? That's as close
Yeah.
as you can get. Sorry, Blumenthal is a Democrat. I'm thinking of another Republican. I might have the clip of another Republican who was calling for. I know there's a couple, but I just didn't record all of them. Lawler is like that's as close as you can get without being primaried, right? He's saying, no, I meant it. I don't like him, but none of them can go against Trump or what you're saying. They're saying we have the richest man in America or in the world with a super PAC that we will use to force you out of office unless you get into or you get on board with what we're doing. And it's like, do we want to lose these people who are trying to dissent so they replace them with even worse people? Because that's what happened in the 118th Congress. People like the moderate Republicans that took a stand, they're gone now.
People are saying something's wrong with my mic. Something wrong with my mic?
I don't know. I hear you fine. I don't think so. I hear you fine. But then I know sometimes what we hear up here can be different. Yeah, no, I think it's fine. I think I would know if I think it's yeah.
Okay.
Well, what about this nominee?
As I said, this nominee has actually been an outspoken
record
critic.
himself, but he's been an outspoken critic. But what about his personal record? There are questions about him. He was on the House floor sharing photos of women, bragging about his sexual exploits, about the medication that he used, the drugs that he used. The ethics investigation has not been released yet. It's been cut off. It was supposed to be voted on tomorrow, but his resignation has aborted that. But what about all of the questions and the allegations against him? His co-conspirator and his friend is serving an 11-year jail term for the sex trafficking. I mean, there was plenty to investigate there.
Andrea, you said it yourself, these are allegations. It's amazing that you're more upset about allegations than you are about the weaponization of the Department of Justice. The American public has completely lost faith in the DOJ. Think about it. The DOJ sending their agents to spy.
So the talking point is Matt Gaetz is a victim because he trafficked a child and so they investigated him for it. To even investigate someone in Trump's sphere makes them a victim. So not the child who was trafficked. Matt Gaetz's bestie, Joel Greenberg, is in jail for 11 years for this. It wasn't for him. He was trafficking this girl for someone else. That's why I keep saying Joel Greenberg is Michael Cohen. When Michael Cohen went to jail for Donald Trump's crimes, Joel Greenberg is sitting in jail. And they left it at that. Oh, don't get me started on Nestor. I hope that comes out in the confirmation hearings. Do you know who Nestor is, Pickles?
No, who's Nestor?
Oh my God. Look up Matt Gaetz's adopted son.
Oh, I've heard about this.
Yeah, well, I'll say this. Ron Filipkowski, who's now like the editor-in-chief of Midas Touch, but he was a Republican, right, who worked in the Republican Party in Florida. And I think it's him who said, and I've heard it from other sources too, of people I know who work in the Republican Party of Florida, that there are rumors, that Matt Gaetz is bisexual. I don't know. I'm just saying what people have said. And there's this adult, or not adult, like very young man that Gaetz was found to have been living with or whatever. And then as a response, to try to explain it away, he said that was his adopted son.
Yeah, but it's
Allegedly.
not technically his adopted son.
No.
It says Our relationship as a family is defined by our love for each other, not by any paperwork. It's just kind of
Yes,
strange.
our
It's weird.
family is defined. It's very strange. No one has ever made sense of it. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying anything, and I don't care. Like, I'm pansexual. I don't care who somebody loves, doesn't love. I mean, unless they're a child, would be, But I'm just saying, it's all very strange. Matt Gaetz is married to a woman. Like, all of the things Matt Gaetz is accused of doing, he has done while married too. So just let's be very clear about that. Like, there's no respect for women is what we can be sure of. Yeah, he hasn't been married for too long. But like there's other people, like what's the woman's name? Cassidy Hutchinson, the one that who worked for Trump during J6, and she wrote a book and all of that. Like in her book, she talks about like all these weird instances with Matt Gaetz where he was trying to, have sex with her. There's like a particular one. I think they were like at Camp David, and I guess Camp David, like you all stay in like these cabins in a circle, and like she was talking to like Kevin McCarthy, and like in like one cabin, and Matt Gaetz came and tried to um get her to go with him, and Kevin McCarthy's like, "Hey, not now, creep." Like get out of here. Yeah,
Weird.
there are no well no, it's not weird. She just says, yeah, like Matt Gaetz. She says they were friends, but like, yeah, he's like just this is the type of stuff he does. I mean, I don't know. Like you can yeah, so there's many things. If you want to do your own research, you can do the research. I think I'm going to look into the court papers around the Joel Greenberg case because I think that's public record that everyone should know about. Joel Greenberg is in jail for trafficking underage women, but not, it's because it was his Venmo account. Oh, wait, why can't I hear this? Here we go. Sorry.
Caroline, what do you say to that? Does the president believe that Gaetz will get confirmed? And you hear Kevin McCarthy say that.
This is Trump's number one spokesperson. This is Caroline Leavitt. This is like she was probably like the number 2 woman running his campaign, like listen. And this is just, I think I either have 1 or 2 clips, and this is before they named like RFK officially yesterday, but I just want to show you how crazy, like what this sounds like.
That won't happen, and everybody knows that. What do you say to that?
We do believe that. 9 days ago, President Trump received a resounding mandate from the American people, a once-in-a-generation mandate for change. Throughout this entire campaign, the American people made it clear they were sick and tired of the status quo from the Harris-Biden administration. They want.
Yeah, but listen, do you see how this is just a bunch of faulty logic to say the American people said, "Hey, I was miserable during the pandemic." That's what they said, and I want things to get better, which they are getting better. No thanks to Donald Trump. But that does not mean hire a bunch of people that are trafficking women. Like, do we understand the difference? Or hire RFK, who is not a doctor, to run the health and human services. Does everyone understand the faulty logic to say, well, the American people voted for Trump, so if he wants to put a bunch of criminals who hurt women in the cabinet, he should be allowed to? No, that's not what anyone voted for. Like, I can't stand listening to the faulty logic on Fox News.
Wanted a new direction for this country, and they chose President Trump to put America first. He has rolled out 16 fantastic picks over the past 9 days, and Matt Gaetz is one of those picks. I know Matt personally. He is a great person. He's a man of integrity. He also is a brilliant litigator. He served on the House Judiciary Committee for 8.
Literally no one says he's a man of integrity. No one.
Yeah, she's literally reading that.
Everyone in Congress. Oh yeah, she's a PR person. I mean, this is what she does.
Yeah.
Like, she pushes out campaign rhetoric.
years. Anyone who has watched him in those hearings knows that he's incredibly impressive. And like President Trump, Matt Gaetz has been a victim of the weaponized Department of Justice. And one of the promises President Trump made to the American people was to root out the corruption at the DOJ. We have seen this agency turn against the American people because of their political beliefs. Matt Gaetz and President Trump are going to put an end to that, and that's what the American people want. That's why they elected him.
So what do you say?
I literally feel like I'm watching Russian state media.
It is. This is the new Russian, this is American state media. That's what we're watching. 100%. And I don't know, like, you guys, I did the Oppo research. Like, I could play you guys clip after clip of RFK saying insane things, but I don't know if this live will get taken down because it's so crazy. I'm scared to even play this clip. Like, this clip was Caitlin Collins talking to Howard Lutnick. Howard Lutnick is in charge of Trump's like transition team. And she was talking to him about RFK. The interesting thing he said is this is October 30th when he's still like, oh, RFK would never be HHS, would never be in charge of HHS. Like that would never happen. Right. But in the process of saying that, he also spreads a bunch more misinformation and disinformation. The most disturbing stuff seems to be the absolute falsity that there's some correlation between autism and vaccines, which if we need to say this, there is not. There's study after study. And I understand this. Like, I totally grasp you're a parent. Your child is born with autism. You feel like that's your fault. You want to make sense of it. Like, how did this happen to me? So you start making a bunch of false equivalences, or you make false equivalents like, well, they got vaccinated and then this diagnosis happened, or whatever the case may be, but it's not real, right? I mean, there are any number of studies that say it's not real. Right? So I don't know. I actually don't. I'm not going to play this clip. It's in the outline. I think people should hear it, but I really don't. I don't know what will happen. This is a more interesting one. This is on election day. Did you guys see Trump right after he voted and he was like holding Melania hostage at this voting place? And she had like dark sunglasses on and was trying to inch away from him as he was talking. Yeah. And
Wasn't there a picture of him like looking at her voting? Have you seen that picture? Like that very concerned picture of him looking at her voting?
Yeah, exactly.
It's really good.
But I was just watching it live. Like he kept trying to get closer to her and she would be like, get away. Like she's just, God, she looked like a hostage. It was a full on hostage situation. But during this interview, like he was taking questions from reporters and he basically said that he was going to put RFK in charge of women's health. Like RFK is the guy that can do damage to, things like mifepristone being sent through the mail.
Well, he knows exactly what, but that's only based on what RFK told us. I don't think RFK wanted that. You're talking about Health and Human Services. Let me tell you, he's a great guy, RFK, and he's going to do pretty much what he wants as far as I'm concerned. He wants health for women, for men, for children, and I happen to agree with a lot of the things he says. The one
Gross. But do know that RFK is now in a position of actual power when it comes to all of our health and has spread lie after lie. Like this is the video, you may recognize this video. This is the video that has been spread all over the internet. Again, I don't know if I should play it or not, but it's in the outline. This is the video where RFK says that COVID-19 is targeted towards certain races, which is a complete lie, and that they are developing bioweapons targeted at certain races. Does anyone remember this nightmare? Here, let's just play some of it, and then I'll stop playing it when it gets bad.
And we need to talk about bioweapons. The level, I know a lot now about bioweapons because I've been doing a book on it for the past 2.5 years, and the technology that we now have to develop these microbes, we've put hundreds of millions of dollars into ethnically targeted microbes. The Chinese have done the same thing. In fact, COVID-19, there's an argument that it is ethnically targeted.
That is a complete lie. I don't know if I should
Bro's
even
just yapping.
There's like
Bro's
2
just
more
yapping.
minutes of that, but I don't think I should play it. But yeah,
Yeah.
that's a complete lie. But someone in the comments, I think it's Bratterall, who I actually like, said, "Is the current HHS secretary a doctor?" I don't think so. Is it Becerra? I don't think he is. But then again, he's not spreading anti-science information. I don't need
Yeah.
the person in charge of HHS to be a doctor, but if you're actively spreading anti-science lies, then I'm going to start to question what your fitness 100%, right?
Yeah. He very famously wrote, I think it was something in 2005 about I believe it's like a preservative, like mercury-derived preservative called thimerosal, and he claimed that it caused cancer or caused autism, and that was very troubling because somebody else came out and said, one of his colleagues came out and said that the data that he was looking at that provided with him before he wrote the study showed the exact opposite. That showed there were no correlations. He still published it anyway.
Yeah, and he's still lying. And I'll show you the clips. Like they're trying the talking point now to try to get RFK confirmed is to say, well, all he wants is the information. They're hiding the data. They're hiding the data. But just like that's a great example you just gave, because no one's hiding any data. Right? The data is there. RFK seems to think data is being hidden. When he is given the data, then he lies anyways. His whole family has come out and said, like, hey, this guy has
Thimerosal. Thank you.
sullied our reputation. He continues to lie, like he's a disappointment. No one should trust him or elect him. Like Kerry Kennedy, who I think is his sister, right? Sorry, sometimes I get the Kennedy family tree mixed up. But literally they went on a tour to say nobody should trust RFK. He is not firing on all cylinders. Like, and went on a tour of the United States to discredit their sibling. Yeah, he definitely had nowhere to go for Thanksgiving. It's like Paul Gosar. Paul Gosar's, if you don't have the pleasure of knowing who Paul Gosar is, lucky you. He's a representative from Arizona who's on the Free Dumb Caucus. And like his family, every year when Paul Gosar is up for re-election, goes on a tour and is like, yeah, this guy's a white supremacist. Like he's out of his mind. No one should vote for him. If you knew anything about him, you would never trust him. And then he gets reelected without fail. But yeah, anyways, these clips, you can listen to them in their entirety. I'm just not going to play them like on a live because I don't think it's safe. Oh, here's remember when I told you Marjorie Taylor Greene was issuing a warning like we'll primary anyone who doesn't confirm RFK?
And what if Senate Republicans don't confirm him?
Well, then they have to deal with Donald Trump, and they'll have to deal with Elon Musk and his great new PAC. So, and the American people, this is a mandate.
Yeah, I wonder, do you have any concerns about he's a big vaccine skeptic of all vaccines, and fluoride in water and the like.
Well, like I said, those things will come out and see where he stands and what the Senate. If I were in the Senate, I would have some big questions about that.
I have great concerns for someone who has shown complete disregard for public health.
But Wolf, this news broke this afternoon as senators were leaving town for the weekend. So next week, a lot of them will be confronted with these questions, and we'll see how they ultimately respond and whether they'll support RFK Jr.'s nomination, Wolf.
I mean, literally, and it's not just Margarine saying that. Like, Margarine's actually, I think, pretty mad at Trump too, but she can't do anything about it. She wanted to be Kristi Noem. She thought all of her yelling about immigrants and all the work she did telling lies on the DHS committee, was going to help her become in charge of the DHS, and she got passed over. But that is the line that they say. That's what all Republican, like the Freedom Caucus members are saying. Some Republicans don't want to confirm RFK because he's out of his mind, or some Republicans don't want to confirm Matt Gaetz because he's an S trafficker. Some Republicans don't want to confirm Tulsi Gabbard because she's a literal or authoritarian simp. Well, we'll primary you. We have the richest man in America sitting next to Trump. Do you want to risk it? Like, this is America. Oh my God. And what in the F has happened with who's in the comments from Colorado? Someone claim credit for what's going on with your governor. What's happened to Jared Polis? Is he going through something we should know about? Are you guys aware of what is wrong with Jared? What can somebody explain to us? What is wrong with this guy? So Jared Polis is the governor of Colorado, and he decides to come out yesterday. I don't even want to read this aloud, and say, I'm excited by the news. And like the weird thing, I'll say this. The weird thing to me is like, he said the exact opposite before. Everyone's saying he loves RFK. He didn't a couple weeks ago. So I just want to say, I wonder, like, I don't want to predict things, but I wonder if Jared Polis has a scandal coming out, possibly, because like this seems to be the political move. You might have a scandal coming out or something. You might not. You're no longer going to be reelectable, so you start moving right. You know what I'm saying? Because there are screenshots of him saying the opposite on Twitter not long ago. So he said, I'm excited by the news that the president-elect will appoint RFK to HHS. He helped us defeat vaccine mandates in Colorado in 2019 and will help make America healthy again by shaking up HHS and FDA. I hope he leans into personal choice on vaccines rather than bans, which I think are terrible, just like mandates. But what I'm most optimistic about is taking on Big Pharma and the corporate AG oligopoly. I can't even say it.
Oligopoly.
Oligopoly, thank you. To improve our health. You're talking about an administration that is an oligopoly. That billionaires are holding hands with Trump, making decisions. That is an oligopoly. Like, are you kidding me? Before you mock him or disagree, I want to share with you some quotes that, if he follows through, show I'm excited. I don't even want to read this. Level playing fields for Americans internationally on drug costs. Okay. So no one's ever saying RFK's never said anything that ever made sense, right? Cap drug prices. This is what Biden was doing, right? If you want to cap drug prices, the easiest way to do that is single payer healthcare. We should have universal healthcare. So I don't really give an F what he says about that. Like, you're in a Republican administration that is opposed to universal healthcare. And then the second one is, in some categories, there are entire departments, like nutrition department at the FDA, that have to go. They are not doing their job. They're not protecting our kids. Oh, I'm so glad he said this too, because I have something to say about this. Yes, the entire nutrition regime is dominated by big corporate. Yeah, I actually agree with that, and we'll get to that in a little bit. Then he talks about pesticides in agriculture. These are all progressive issues. These are progressive issues.
This is what I've been yelling at people.
Trump is deregulating the EPA, so companies like Monsanto can continue with the pesticides. So if RFK had any scruples and cared about pesticides, Trump was literally elected and is putting people in place, Lee Zeldin specifically, to deregulate the EPA.
Yeah, and I've always been telling that he did something. He rolled back something during his first term and caused an outbreak of listeria in boar's head meat.
Oh yeah, that's still going on. The boar's, and I loved boar's head. And that product, like and actually, hopefully this is, I think I'll get back to this because I think I just need to show you guys something before we move on from this train of thought. It's a little bit out of order, but so I just want to show you guys how hypocritical Republicans are. Now they're all like, "Well, RFK cares what's in food." Can we all talk about the last person that cared? Do you guys remember who the last person was that cared what was in our food? Because yeah, it's very true that America has horrific food standards. Right? Compared to like say the UK, we eat dog food. Oh, someone got it. Yep. It was Michelle Obama. That's who cared. She literally like this was Michelle Obama's issue. She said, "We're eating poison. Our children are eating poison." Right? Let's remember now all of a sudden RFK is a hero for pointing it out. They crucified Michelle Obama for pointing it out.
There was another person who many years ago tried to raise concerns about the health of the food that we feed our children and our families. And here's the reception that she received.
When I heard this, I thought, get your damn hands off my fries, lady. If I want to be a fatty and shovel French fries all day long, that is my choice.
We're going to have, the government fining us if we use salt.
Coming up straight ahead, all this talk about the government taking salt away from you because it's so bad for you. But aren't there good things about salt?
I hate the government getting involved and telling me what to eat and not to eat.
Food police. Do you think the government should regulate the ingredients in the food we eat?
Can't we make our own decision about whether or not we want to salt our food?
All right, an Obama government obesity task force. Does every American family need a dietitian appointed by the government to tell them that this food is going to make you fat and this food is not?
The spin. I love the spin.
Yeah, and so they tried to make it like they're trying to take away our salt. That's not what it's about. The same thing that RFK is talking about, that they put horrific things in our food because they're allowed to, and in other countries they're not, right? That's what Michelle Obama was saying, and that's what they said, that she was trying to take away people's salt. Yeah, we're in hell. So we are in hell. So in response to Jared Paulus's stupid little post, RFK responded, said, "Thank you, Governor Paulus. I look forward to working with you. Let's make America healthy again." I just want to show you because I found these comments so funny. Dude, he was crucified in the comments. Like, if you want to have a funny time, Olivia Giuliana, because I love her, she's like, "Dog, what? Bro, you serious? Just switch parties and get the fuck out of here." Keith Olbermann, resign. Lesson 1, do not obey in advance. Get an MRI fast. I strongly suspect that RFK Jr. is not the only one who has a worm in his brain. It would seem the worm has already devoured your left hemisphere. Dude, you should read if you need to laugh, go find Jared Paulus's post and read the comments because Jared Paulus is having a rough day. It looks like a long. What?
Real quick, you're so like the size. Does anyone else have trouble seeing like the size that the font is on the screen? Could you? There
Is
you
that
go.
better?
Yeah, that's better. Yeah, it's like the size of the font wasn't rendering pixels. There you go.
Is that better?
Yeah.
Don't do this. Please resign. Is this a weird April Fool's joke that's 5 months early? It's been a long since an elected official I thought I really liked said something this bafflingly wrong. Disappointed. What the ever-loving hell? This is a stupid fucking thing to think. I find it funny. But in good faith, hold on. I do have someone. He did get fat. Do you guys know who Hank Green is? Everyone knows who Hank Green is, right?
Love Hank Green.
Everyone loves Hank Green. If you don't know who Hank Green is, you're missing out on life. You should follow Hank Green. He's amazing. And John Green. John Green's books got me through like my angst. Oh wait, this is something I wanted to show you guys because he actually screenshotted it. I said, Jared Paulus, it's very funny because he was saying the exact opposite before, right? So this is RFK Jr. saying, on August 25th, RFK Jr. on Fox News, I'm going to be campaigning actively with Trump. I want to make America healthy again. President Trump is going to make a series of announcements, blah, blah. And then Jared Paul's comments, not sure how bringing back measles and bringing back polio makes anyone healthy. That's why I say it's like super weird that he's doing this, because it's like I know for a fact that you've said the opposite. So whatever. Whatever, Jared Paulus. No, anyways, back to Hank Green. If you get fact checked by Hank Green, and Hank Green is like, I don't think he's technically a scientist. He's a genius who's developed many tech products, sold them, like is an author, has several podcasts. His brother's a famous author. Like he wrote Turtles All the Way Down, The Fault in Our Stars, Looking for Alaska, like all of these books. I don't know. If you don't know who he is, look it up because he's famous. But anyways, Hank Green says lowering drug prices, improving nutritional standards, and reducing pesticides are causes that could genuinely improve public health. Colorado's experience with prescription drug importation and pesticide regulation shows that we need leadership willing to stand up to big corporations. And it's easy to see why RFK Jr.'s bold talk on these issues resonates. But there are significant concerns about his track record. Beyond his vaccine stance, RFK Jr. has also promoted scientifically unsupported claims about HIV/AIDS, suggesting that HIV doesn't cause AIDS, a view that has been widely debunked and has caused harm in communities affected by the disease. He's also pushed conspiracy theories about 5G and Wi-Fi. Oh, I have a video of that one. Alleging health risks that extensive research hasn't supported. These positions reflect a pattern of promoting claims that can erode public trust in critical areas of health, even when the science is clear. The risk is that with a track record like this, he could bring these same tendencies to HHS, diverting focus from evidence-based health initiatives. I fully agree that we need reform in areas like drug pricing, nutrition, and agriculture policy. Yeah, that's what Biden was doing. But we need a leader who will pursue these reforms with rigorous science and public health as the top priority rather than personal beliefs or fringe theories. I'm disappointed to see this level of support from you. We're losing our institutions to people who professionally degrade trust in them, and that causes real harms. That's this guy's whole bag. Be very careful here. If you don't know who Hank Green is, you should follow him. He's a genius. And for him to go out of his way to write something like this, like, I don't know if Hank Green's ever been wrong about anything. Yeah. And that is what Biden's been doing. Biden was building up regulations to stop pesticides in foods, to regulate things. Yeah, and
negotiated lower drug costs for like
negotiated lower drug costs, most importantly.
tons of great drugs, tons of things that were for like heart disease and just like all the cornerstone drugs you would see that people use in Medicare.
Let me see if I can find that. I think I recorded that RFK standing on the Capitol Hill steps screaming about Wi-Fi. I think I have it. Like he thinks the 5G is taking over our brains.
In 5 years, we're going to see 415,000 low orbit satellites. Bill Gates says his 65,000 satellites alone will be able to look at every square inch of the planet 24 hours a day. They're putting in 5G to harvest our data and control our behavior. Digital currency that will allow them to punish us from a distance and cut off our food supply.
Shut up.
But he loves crypto. He loves Elon Musk for some reason. Like, what are you talking about, bro? Someone in the comments said, "Old man yells at cloud." I think that should be the caption of this. Old man yells at cloud seems to be the correct caption for this. We should listen to videos of RFK and make up captions one day. That would be a fun activity because it is absolutely absurd. Okay, I want to make sure I don't miss these. Oh yeah, so this is Josh Green, Governor Josh Green, who's I guess friends with Jared Polis, being like, I don't know what he's doing.
Well, first of all, I was with Jared today throughout the day at the Governors Association meeting. We talked about this. Jared is very worried about what RFK would do over vaccinations. Whether or not RFK gets to do anything else, who knows? But this is a gentleman who has absolutely no training in public health, no experience in public health, nor does he have any experience in biopharmacologic processes either. He is a quack scientist. It is obvious. And Mr. Trump is doing this to be provocative. Now, tearing down government when children's health is on the line is not okay. I was disappointed in Jared, who I love, who is one of my favorite governors, but it is not okay. It's not okay to do what he did, to cast doubt on processes that are well established in science. It makes parents scared. When parents are scared, they don't take action. If people freeze and we lose 10 or 20% of our vaccination rates, you'll see disease spread widely across America. And remember, you've got a lot of children who are too young to be vaccinated who will be very vulnerable when these diseases spread. You'll see some polio come back. You'll certainly see outbreaks of measles and mumps and chickenpox. All of these things don't just sometimes kill you, they also will cause serious neurologic damage when children are ending up with infections because they couldn't get immunity.
Well said. And like that's what he does. Every time RFK casts doubt and makes up some BS, he's messing with our herd immunity. And it's not to be taken lightly. Polio causes children to lose the use of their legs. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's not something to be joking about. Like, at ASU, we recently had a syphilis outbreak. That's more because people aren't finishing their doses of antibiotics. But that's neither here or there. Sorry.
We already have a decrease in vaccination rates. I don't have an actual percentage. Actually, I might. But it's already happening with all of this anti-vax talk. Vaccination rates can vary by state. In 2021, the national child vaccination rate was 72%, but state level ranged from 56% in West Virginia to 87% in Iowa. Yeah, it says they've been steadily declining since 2018 and 2019.
Yeah. And I shouldn't even talk about it, but my sister is one of these people. I'm just saying in terms of homeschooling her children to avoid vaccinations. And we were talking to someone, we were talking about there are side effects from vaccines, right? Like it could hurt where the needle goes in, right? You could get a fever, you could get chills, no one's saying there's no side effects, but the benefits outweigh the side effects, right?
Yeah, every
That's
time. I
the
mean, they
point.
have to in order to pass FDA approval.
Exactly. And I think 0.3% when I was reading I was reading studies on side effects from the COVID vaccine, 0.3% of vaccinations resulted in hospitalizations. It's not, these aren't side effects that should preclude people from being vaccinated. Like the worst side effect I ever had from vaccine, I just got the pneumonia one. And they told me before, they're like, people do not feel good after this. Do you want it? It's like, yeah, because I've had pneumonia. I have
Yeah.
allergy and asthma problems. I don't think people understand what is happening when you get a vaccine is you're being injected with a little bit of that illness and then your body's building up an immunity. Would you like to be injected with a little bit of the illness and let your body learn to fight it off, or would you like to catch it and
Yeah, and technically mRNA, that's not true. The mRNA is different. It's not injecting you with a dead version of the vaccine. It's injecting you with a dummy version of it.
Yeah,
So it
that's
tricks
true
your body
too.
into making, yeah. But so it's even safer in my opinion. And that's what a lot of vaccines we're going to see turn to the RNA or mRNA
Oh, yeah, well,
technology.
as they should, but it's Yeah, like, I'm just saying for me with pneumonia, like, of course, like, should I build up a tolerance before I'm old enough that I can't fight it off? Like, pneumonia is the death blow for a lot of old people. Like, do you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like, you're preparing for something that could happen, that could happen that's worse. Like, it's not I mean, I guess it is science. It's not we're not doing brain surgery. It's easy to understand. Actually, I think I left a thing out and I want to see if I can find it really quick. I want to find this RFK clip that I don't think I put in here. Oh, yeah, here it is. I found it. I forgot to put it in my outline. Let's see. Hold on.
And by the way, the free flow of information. Kennedy's goal is and always has been to increase government transparency. And by the way, the free flow of information. And then guess what? Let you, the American people, make your own decisions about your health care, about your food, about the issues of vaccines for your children.
So again, this is the Republican talking point. No, that's how they're trying to sell him. They're trying to say, oh, no, he's just a warrior for the truth. He's tired of the government hiding things. The government isn't hiding anything. The government he's continuing to say the government's hiding a link between autism and vaccines. No, you can look at all the studies. These are independently conducted studies, but this is how they're going to try to shove him down our throats. And I'll just show you, like, this is just a few months ago. This is Hannity shitting on RFK, saying that he has RFK Jr.'s radical positions. This is when he was running against Trump, and they were full time. And Trump was very worried about RFK taking votes from him, and they're full time trashing him on Fox. Fox News will say anything. Their opinions change with the wind. They're saying they're extremism exposed. I remember when 24 hours a day, when Trump was worried about RFK, all they were doing on Fox News was trashing him. And now all of a sudden it's, oh, he's just a good guy who wants to show us the truth. He's just a human shield that's going to end up getting fired. And I cannot express enough. Guess who was on last night defending RFK, which I think is very telling? Dr. Oz.
Oh my God.
I know. This is who Hannity got to come on. This guy, yeah, just could it get any worse? Dr. Oz was on defending RFK last night.
Oh. No volume. There we go.
I didn't mean to
well, President Trump, I think, has done well by selecting RFK Jr. because he's got the attention of the public. These issues are not new issues. We've been talking about them. I certainly did on my show for 13 years. It's very hard to get America mobilized because they've been told for years that these are safe things. Don't worry about the drinking water. You're fine with those chemicals. The plastics aren't a big issue. And then we start seeing autism rates and
no one
Oh my
ever
God.
said
No way.
microplastics. Do you see how they conflate things? It's, again, if you have a problem with microplastics in water, that's a progressive issue. It is the Republican Party that continues to deregulate so microplastics can, in fact, be in water. But do you see how they tried to slip it in there? Like, oh, we care about these issues. It's absurd.
fertility rates and cancer rates and general life expectancy start to drop. And I think by appointing someone who's known to speak his mind, even though it's disruptive to your comfort at times, and someone who believes in giving you the freedom to make informed choice, but to do that, you've got to be able to say what you are observing is happening with the basic infrastructure of health in America. But let me share something with you that I think is vital that has not been brought up.
If the Republicans cared about health, right, they would regulate corporations from poisoning our environment. So microplastics, pesticides, other things didn't end up with water. It is the Republican Party that continues to deregulate to make sure that that companies can pollute. I love Hakeem Jeffries. We all know how I love Hakeem Jeffries. He was on Jake Tapper's show yesterday talking about this stuff.
We will push back against far-right extremism whenever necessary. Throughout the campaign, the former president promised America the very best, promised the best economy, promised the best border security, promised the best administration possible. The question that we all have to ask with respect to Robert F. Kennedy Jr. and others, is this America's very best? Is this the best that America has to offer to safeguard the health and well-being of the American people? Of course it's not. And that's problematic, and it's an unfortunate sign, perhaps, of what's to come.
What are
Yeah. Oh, and I have to. Okay, so Sue says, sorry, Sue, I just said this. It appears a big reason MAGA voted for orange ass clown. For orange ass clown is to shove brown people over the southern border completely uninformed about. Yeah, I agree. I sorry it cut off. I don't know what else you said, Sue, but I think orange ass clown was spot on. Um, and Christy says, is anyone surprised an idea originated from a black woman would be dismissed and then embraced when messaged by a white man? I think that's my experience in life is saying very intelligent things and then hearing white men repeat them like it was their idea. That is literally my existence in the tech industry. Like, am I surprised that somehow Michelle Obama was like, hey, we're eating poison in this country because Republicans have deregulated food to the point where it doesn't matter what's put in food, right? That was what Michelle Obama was saying. Our children are eating poison. And all of a sudden, delusional weirdo RFK Jr. comes along and says, we're eating poison. And everyone's like, we're eating poison? What? That's the plight of being a black woman, right? Is just nobody, yeah, white man saying what you said and then suddenly everyone listening.
I'm reading more into this microplastics stuff, and it led me down a hole with, the climate accord, the Paris Climate Accord, and apparently there's a huge thing where that would deregulate plastics for all the countries that generate oil and stuff like that. So at the same time, Trump is going to pull us out of the Paris Climate Accord and pollute the environment with plastics and biohazards
So
to
you're
make a quick
saying,
buck.
yeah, so Trump is actually the reason that microplastics are in our water. Oh, I'm shocked. Oh, it's unequivocally the Republican Party that are the reason that we're eating and drinking poison. They are the ones. Look at the votes in Congress. There's one party that votes to regulate what we eat and drink, and there's one party that says, "Oh, people are always trying to make regulations." Yeah, like because we don't want to drink and eat poison. Right? This is the reality. The votes in Congress don't lie. There's one party that regulates, there's one party that deregulates. And for them to somehow hold RFK up, some delusional liar, to say, look, we care about the environment all of a sudden. No, you don't. And he doesn't either, or he would not be sitting there. Oh, wait, hold on. I forgot to play this one.
What are your issues specifically with Robert F. Kennedy Jr. as HHS Secretary?
We understand he's completely and totally unqualified as it relates to protecting the health, the safety, and the well-being of the American people. We have a lot of challenges emerging from the pandemic. We need serious folks with a serious background and serious expertise. Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is, of course, none of the above.
I mean, I don't think I need to say anything. I think he said it. I think he absolutely said it. Now, look at Jake Tapper try to talk to someone about this.
That was from June. It wasn't from last week. But most importantly is that the scientific and medical community has been clear for years that what he says about vaccines, childhood vaccines, is false. They don't cause autism. There's no direct link. Does that bother you at all?
Look, Jake, in the election, Donald Trump won the popular vote. And one of the things that he promised on the campaign trail is to have a serious and thoughtful conversation about vaccines, especially after the pandemic. Mandatory vaccines is a topic that a lot of American voters want us to tackle on Capitol Hill. So I imagine this will be a big topic of discussion in the confirmation hearings. But remember, it's Congress that makes policy and works with the President Trump, to carry out his agenda, and the secretary will be on hand to execute that agenda. So I feel very comfortable with RFK Jr. having a significant seat at the table to lead big debates about this at a time when obesity is so high, when health care issues are so important. And I'll tell you, after serving on the House Education Committee for the past 8 years, RFK is eminently better qualified and more prepared for Secretary Becerra, who sits in that role today, to carry out the agenda that the American people.
I mean, what? This is a man lying about medical studies, and he's somehow better qualified. I don't know what to say at this point. These people, this is the party line. Like, you have to be lied to. So this is the golden boy, John Thune. This is the man Mitch McConnell bred and raised to oversee the Senate when he finally left. And he is now in power. He was being interviewed by Brett Baier yesterday on Fox.
So you've said that you would do recess appointments if it came to that. What's the threshold for getting to that point for recess appointments?
Well, what I said is, Brett, and I think this is that all options are on the table, including recess appointments. Hopefully it doesn't get to that, but we'll find out fairly quickly whether the Democrats want to play ball or not. And I think part of it is getting these folks. We'll start having confirmation hearings as soon as the new Senate is sworn in January. President takes the oath of office January 20th. By the time he takes the oath of office, hopefully a lot of those nominees will be through their confirmation hearings and will be ready to act on them on the Senate floor. And then it's a question of how much do the Democrats resist or object or try to block those nominations from going forward. And we're going to grind them out. I mean, we're just going to keep consistently moving, and we'll see what kind of cooperation we get. And then we'll, like I said, we'll make decisions about where do we go from there.
I don't know what to make sometimes of John Thune. I think he has to say this stuff or he's going to have a target on his back that, again, they're going to try to oust him if he doesn't say the stuff. So, or they're going to run a smear campaign against him. So I think what he's just saying is like, we'll wait and see. I know it's crazy, but I don't think
he's saying everything but condemning it. Yeah. And saying everything
can't,
but
which he can't. Yeah, he can't.
Yeah.
So he's just like, we'll see what happens. Guys, again, this is Pickles Cash App and Venmo. If you would like to thank him for being here, please donate. Gift our guest. Again, this is my Cash and Venmo. If you would like a message to be read out loud, feel free to send one and I will read it. And also subscribe. Subscriptions are how I keep the show going. They are very much appreciated. But again, yeah, I think I agree. I think John Thune is in a rock and hard place. And again, was raised, this is Mitch McConnell's golden boy. This is somebody who learned at Mitch McConnell's feet for years. Like, Mitch McConnell is loyal to the Republican Party, to the conservative values, to rolling back rights of minorities, to clawing back the white dispossession of America. Like, and so ultimately, Mitch McConnell, did he ever speak? Was he always loyal to Trump at the end, even when he hated him? Yeah. But here's some more from John Thune.
Right. But for example, on the Health Committee, you have Senator Collins, Senator Murkowski. They've already raised concerns about RFK Jr., I think. When you have Matt Gaetz, there's already some Republicans who have spoken out and said some things. The numbers start to get problematic if that is a problem, and your onus for you is to try to get the president who he wants to be in the cabinet. Do you then punt to a recess and try to recess the Senate for 10 days and get those appointments in?
Well, it's an option, but obviously it takes, you know, you have to have all Republicans vote to recess as well. So the same Republicans that you mentioned that might have a problem voting for somebody under regular order probably also have a problem voting to put the Senate into recess. You have to have concurrence from that.
So if you before like to vote on recess, right? I guess it has to be all Republicans. I didn't know that. Like, or I've seen them vote like in the House to recess and stuff, like before they go on recess. I didn't know it had to be everyone though. So like John Thune is saying without saying, oh, well, you guys might have a problem on that because if there's any holdouts, we're not going to recess. So that's interesting because, like, Lisa Murkowski, for instance, the senator from Alaska, like, she will be a problem on that. Like, I foresee there being a few holdouts, but we'll see. Like, Lisa Murkowski is pretty much insulated from like the MAGA politics in Alaska. You know, they have ranked choice voting. They don't always go along with like the BS. So we shall see. I definitely think there will be some holdouts.
House, there's a process. All this is a process. But I don't think any of those things are necessarily off the table. I think we have to have all the options on the table. And these nominees deserve their day in court. They deserve a hearing, a confirmation hearing, an opportunity to be vetted. And the Senate will perform its constitutional role under advice and consent. But we are not going to allow the Democrats to thwart the will of the American people in giving President Trump the people that he wants in those positions to implement his agenda.
When it comes
I mean, I don't know. I don't know what else. It's like I want to be annoyed with John Thune. I also don't know what else he can say but that. Do you know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
I think he's walking a very fine line. Listen, then Brett Baier asked him in this clip if he thinks Matt Gaetz can get through.
And finally, just back to those appointments. Do you think Matt Gaetz can get through?
Well, I don't know the answer to that just yet. I mean, obviously, as you point out, there certainly are some skeptics, but he deserves a process.
RFK Jr., do you think he can get through? Same answer?
They deserve a process, yeah. I mean, they're nominees that the president has put forward, and, you know, the Senate has the role of advise and consent under the Constitution. So they deserve a hearing, and we'll proceed accordingly if these
you were to
become official
vet
noms.
that would you have to do recess appointments? You're saying yes or no. Would you say?
Well, I hate to say yes or no because I think that's still an open question. My view is we want to do this the regular way and give the Democrats a chance to work with us on getting people in place. And the first ones that are going to come up are the national security, and I hope the Democrats will work with us on defense and CIA and NSA and some of those and state. But if they become obstacles and obstructionists to moving these along, I mean, we're going to grind them out on the floor of the United States Senate. I just said we're not taking any options off the table.
I think he's saying like I'm gonna try to do this the right way, and if I can't, then I start getting pressure. We'll see. But yeah, I think the biggest thing is like, should Tulsi Gabbard and Matt Gaetz be approved? Like, I mean, I hate John Radcliffe. I hate the guy they want for CIA, but like, do I think like it's going to be enough to stop him from being confirmed? No. You know, I think there are like John Thune saying like NSA, CIA, like let's push these people through. And I think that will end up happening, but then we have these like more insane nominations that it's going to be more difficult. Oh, did I play this? Wait, hold on. I need to make sure. Just need to hear something really quick.
And finally, just back to those appointments. Do you think Matt Gaetz can get through?
Well, I don't know the answer to that just yet.
Wait, did he start talking? Hold on, sorry.
Would you have to do recess appointments? You're saying...
Oh, no, this isn't the clip. I think I left the clip. Hold on, I'm going to go back to my library and try to find this clip because he did say something that really pissed me off, and I need to play it. I think I forgot to add it.
Set up to kind of look at cutting the federal government
this is
with
it.
Elon Musk, Vivek Ramaswamy. It's not a part of the administration. It's kind of separate, but very close to. But a lot of what they do, one would think, would have to go through Congress. Is the Senate ready to really dismantle the federal bureaucracy like they're talking about?
Well, I think this is long overdue, honestly. And frankly, I'm excited because, you know, there is a very low percentage of federal workers who are actually back at work. There was one report not that long ago of a study that had done, it was reported on by the New York Times, that said only 6% of federal workers are back. You know, if that's true, there ought to be some real opportunities to achieve some savings. And frankly, for that matter, why do we have all these agencies and departments here in Washington, D.C.? They could be other places around the country because people aren't showing up at the office anyway. So
There it is. There's the Republican in John Thune, right? Like lying on federal workers. Like, hold on, let me go back to I want to go back to my shared album really quick. I was making this so quick this morning. I think I forgot to put a couple clips in. But so if you get fact checked by this man, I don't know if I'm going to show you guys his profile picture. This is Aaron Reichlin Melnick. This is one of the smartest people in existence today. I suggest to follow him. He's actually an immigration and border expert, but like he's a data scientist. Like this man's never wrong. In hearings on immigration, this man has made Marjorie Taylor Greene look like the dumbest person on earth. But anyway, so he responds to this video that was posted of John Thune saying this giant effing lie and says, shocking for a senator to claim just 6% of federal workers, which, by the way, John Thune is a federal worker, are back at work. I looked it up. What the Office of Management and Budget study actually said was that excluding 10% who are fully remote, federal workers spend 79.4% of their time in the office compared 61.2% for telework eligible workers. And then he actually cited the study and the source for this. And then also, if you are in our Discord, if you want a link to the Discord, just message at Feliz Navidad. I'll get you a link. All of this stuff is in the live sources section. But he also cited the actual study and the link, which again is in our Discord if you want it, because none of that is true. This is gone on long enough from Republicans in Congress pretending that federal workers aren't at work for some reason. They absolutely are. They were mandated to come back to work. Sorry, that really angers me. And furthermore, you guys, this is delusional. There was a congressional hearing yesterday going on. Like, so if you guys know, Robert Garcia, he used to be the mayor of Long Beach. He is on I can't remember the name of the committee that does all the COVID stuff and whatnot, but his name in alphabetical order is right before Marjorie Taylor Greene. So what Robert Garcia does, he's on both of the committees Marjorie Taylor Greene's on, the DHS committee and then the one where they talk about COVID. And he goes before Marjorie blows up her tweets of misinformation and then basically just reads them aloud and shames her. And then she gets mad and like screams at him during these. So while he's talking and trying to like make sense, Marjorie's laughing.
And researchers on day one. And I'm going to show, this is from ABC News, the headline that just appeared a few days ago, which if we're talking about pandemic preparedness, and with all due respect to the committee and the work, the fact that we're considering to bring somebody on with no scientific or medical credentials, who's falsely claimed for decades that vaccines cause autism, who has, quite frankly, said just outrageous comments about science and medicine, that this person would come in to gut the NIH, I think is shameful. I think is shameful. And Ms. Green, you can clap all you want, but it is shameful, it's dangerous, and if this committee is about pandemic prevention, we should be very concerned as a country that RFK Jr. could be put in charge of health when he is a vaccine denier and has caused great harm to the American public. I want to say just finally that I'm very concerned that someone that wants to gut the NIH, HHS, and other services could be put in charge of health of any kind in this country. And so I want to thank you, sir, for your service.
Amen, Robert Garcia. And then I just put, first of all, what is Margarine ever wearing? I could do just shows on what is Margarine wearing in these committee meetings. It looks like she unalived some sort of brown zebra, and then like it's literally like a tan zebra she must have unalived, and somehow I don't know, but Margarine's outfits are in these committees. I could do a show just on them. But I'm not gonna I can't play all the misinformation that Margarine was spreading yesterday, but here's just part that is not won't get me removed from the internet.
Preparing for the next pandemic is actually recognizing that the last pandemic resulted in crimes against humanity. People that perpetuated and continue to perpetuate these crimes need to be prosecuted. And that needs to be starting in the next administration, and I'm pretty sure our next Attorney General will do that, and I look forward to seeing that happen. Mr. Chairman, I yield back the remainder of my time.
Wow, Margarine, it's almost like you're really bitter because you didn't get picked. You know what I'm saying? Like Margarine, that was supposed to be you. You were supposed to be head of Department of Homeland Security. You were supposed to be deporting a bunch of people. What happened, Margarine? It looks like you're still in your same committee with nothing to do. It's so interesting. That's sad. Like, look at her angrily yelling at people. Oh my God. Okay, we're at the part of the show where I'm just going to laugh so you don't cry. I'm just going to show you some funny things. So, like, Steve Bannon, who's smart enough to address, like, people's concerns, I guess because, Steve Bannon, fresh out of jail, had Michael Flynn on yesterday because people are concerned because Tulsi Gabbard has no business having the job she has. And so they've come up with a solution. Imagine the solution on the right is to appoint a man to do a woman's job for her, a man who was actively involved in an insurrection and had to be pardoned. Like, what could go wrong? Oh, and another guy that just got out of jail.
Birds of a feather.
And you're going to get it straight. Would you be open to be her deputy or some sort of special assistant, at least for the first year, to make sure that she goes through the wilderness of mirrors?
Yeah, because part of, so the answer is yes, but the part of this too, and this is what I told Vivek, okay, just briefly, that these people in government, they know how to hide, right? And I call them wall walkers because they keep their eyes against the wall because they don't want anybody to actually engage them. So, those are all walking all over the Pentagon.
Wall walkers.
But other buildings in the government. So these people know how to hide, and they know how to come in and give you presentation after presentation. One of the things that they're going to do, and I want everybody to listen closely, for those that have been chosen for these really critical jobs, Tulsi's among them, Pete Hegseth is another, whoever goes into the DOJ, the FBI, what they will do is they'll immediately come to you and they're going to put security all around you, and they're going to say, and they're going to set up a wall to block people from coming to you to give you the truth.
Okay, Michael. Yeah, you're giving us the truth. That's what we need. We need someone that had to be pardoned for being involved in God knows what. You know what I'm saying? Like, these people are ridiculous. The answer is, can we just get an actual qualified human being to do the job? It's not to let another known, like, insurrectionist into the government, but, whatever. Oh, and this is the other thing. This is for, I saw earlier there was a libertarian in here, Brad Earl. For all you delusional fake libertarians who think Trump's bringing no new wars, right? And who were somehow blaming Biden for the Palestinian conflict. Let's let Mehdi Hasan, a Muslim, explain to you who Trump appointed.
And on Israel-Palestine, where in a place like Dearborn, we saw a lot of Arabs understandably frustrated and enraged by what Biden and Harris did to Gaza, armed Netanyahu. Some of them, and I interviewed one of the imams from Michigan, fell into the trap of thinking Donald Trump would be not as bad or equally as bad or better. And we're seeing with Huckabee, Huckabee, Joy, and your intro is so important there. He's not just to call him an extremist is an insult to other extremists, right? He's so extreme, he makes Benjamin Netanyahu look moderate on Palestine. He makes George W. Bush look moderate on issues of war and peace. In 2008, Joy, Mike Huckabee criticized George Bush for setting a timetable for withdrawal from Iraq. He wanted to stay in Iraq for longer. He's a big Iraq war guy. And on Palestine, as you say, he calls himself an unreformed, unapologetic Zionist. He believes God gave the land only to the Jews. He's a religious fanatic. He refuses to admit that there's a Palestinian people. He says there's no occupation, no settlements, no West Bank, only Judea and Samaria. He wants one state, a Jewish state, no Palestinian state. It's a disaster in many ways. Obviously, the Palestinians are already living through a disaster in Gaza.
Yeah.
And then the West Bank, it's only going to get.
Yeah, for all you Democrats I had to listen to say, I'm not voting for Kamala. It's a protest vote. Congratulations. You've ensured the destruction of the Palestinian people. Like, I can't say, and don't get me wrong, I understand, like Mehdi Hassan said, that there's frustration with the Biden administration. I understand. I think Biden also is a Zionist, but never approaching who Donald Trump just appointed. In the words of Mehdi Hassan, he's an insult to other extremists. He makes extremists look mild. So that was always the point. I left the United States because I am disgusted by American foreign policy and disappeared into South America. But the better side of American foreign policy is always the left.
Agreed.
If you care about the Palestinian people, they're in a worse position now. Donald Trump said it. Donald Trump said, this is a PR problem. We need to finish it off quickly. He didn't say, I'm going to help the Palestinian people survive. He said they need to hurry up. He's put
he'll be writing
he's put
a
the
blank check
extremists.
for Israel.
Yeah, he put the extremist of all extremists. You know, one of these evangelicals from the South. My mom is one of these people, not from the South, but one of these evangelicals that like believes that they, just so you guys understand, part of like the evangelical mandate is they believe like Christians have to control Israel because that's where Jesus is coming back or something, and some sort of like battle during the rapture is going to be fought there. That's why these people are, yes, I'm just telling you the facts, Pickle. As my mom describes, you know, my mom is one of the people that like donates to Israel and allegedly is sent like a bottle of blessed water from like a river in Israel, you know, one of those evangelicals.
Oh my God.
Praise the Lord. Praise the Lord. Oh, this will cheer you guys up. Back to the Onion buying InfoWars. So, you know, after the auction was done and Alex Jones no longer owns InfoWars, well, he went live in his like friend's studio or whatever, and Steve Bannon's like screaming there's some conspiracy. Oh, and and Roger Stone too. Because if you guys remember, Roger Stone said he was going to get investors together and buy InfoWars so it wouldn't be sold. You know, like Twitter was sold to Elon Musk and then it was dismantled and bastardized. They didn't want that to happen to their their disinformation machine, InfoWars. So Roger Stone was supposed to get investors together and buy it.
Work. I have never seen a process like this in my entire life. Bankruptcy processes are normally very orderly and always looking at the company that's going through bankruptcy or being sold in some sort of court-sponsored auction. My understanding is that Roger Stone and others had taken a long time to put together a very competitive bid that I think had no financing outs. And I think the court owes it to the American people to see what the bids were, and if the Stone or other people who are affiliated with Alex actually put a bid in that was competitive or higher. Right now.
Okay, so they don't think it's possible they were outbid now, I guess. Now listen to Roger. This is Roger Stone talking to Alex about this.
This wasn't a fair proceeding. Unfortunately, the bankruptcy trustee has guaranteed himself major litigation for the rest of his life and career. He's going to be sued because he acted.
So they're going to ruin a bankruptcy trustee's life, just to be clear, for doing his job. That's where we're at because they gave InfoWars to the highest bidder.
Life and career. He's going to be sued because he acted corruptly. In fact, once Matt Gaetz is Attorney General, I think he should examine this entire procedure because there's epic corruption here. You know, we did put together a very good bid. Now, I think, Alex, we may have no choice but to bid on MSNBC to buy that, because perhaps that could be repurposed. It's for sale, and they're making no money. This is a tragedy.
Now they're threatening to buy MSNBC and turn it into a disinformation platform. We're almost done, guys, but I just need to show you a couple more things. What I know you guys have probably been really wondering, what's Lauren Boebert up to? Right? Where has she been? She's been real quiet. Well, don't worry. Lauren Boebert was in Congress yesterday trying to question people about UAPs. What does UAP stand for again? Like, it's like the new word for UFO. It's like unidentified, unknown aerial projectile or something. It's the new word for UFO. So when you hear her saying UAP, that's what she's aerial phenomenon. Okay, thank you. Unidentified aerial phenomenon, anomalous, whatever. It's something. Unidentified aerial phenomena. Okay, crowdsourcing is the best. Thank you. So Lauren Boebert was in a congressional hearing yesterday trying to get people to acknowledge that, in fact, aliens are not coming from the skies, but they are, in fact, living under the sea. Have you heard? This is a big conspiracy theory for conspiracy theorists. I don't know if you guys have heard this, but I happen to know someone who believes in this, that in fact the aliens are living in the oceans, and the oceans are actually the sky, but we are just all misinformed by gravity. I don't know if you've heard this, but apparently Lauren Boebert believes this.
Counts of UAPs emerging from or submerging into our water, which could indicate a base or presence beneath the ocean's surface.
I don't know about a base, but as I mentioned, I had a different source entirely describe this pretty extraordinary footage that exists of orbs, of an orb coming out of the ocean and being met by another orb.
Some would say that there's multiple hotspots where we see frequent activity. So in your investigations, have you come across any data or visual evidence like sonar readings or underwater footage of these UAPs?
I have not beyond what's in the report.
He is not, because someone said this in the comments, so I'm not going to take credit, but it's like, yeah, she watched Pacific Rim and then was like, oh my God, it's real. Like she just learned about the Mariana Trench and is like, no one knows what's down there, guys. She didn't just win, you guys. It's so much worse. Lauren Boebert left her district because she couldn't win there because they all hated her. She replaced Ken Buck. Like, Ken Buck is one of the moderate Republicans that was forced out for saying he wouldn't go along with the Biden impeachment because he was a former prosecutor, and he's like, it goes against our Constitution. You have no evidence. This is setting a terrible precedent. I am not going through this. I'm not going to do this. And he left. And that's why Lauren Boebert got, how did she win her election? No, it's just, that is the reddest place in Colorado. I think is it District 2 or 3? I can't remember, but it's a district that it will go as Republican. There's no chance for anyone else to win there. That's why she went there. And just one more ridiculous quote from Lauren Boebert yesterday while she's revealing her belief in underwater. This is what Lauren Boebert was up to yesterday.
You find myself on many lists, I'm sure. So I speak my mind often, so why not just keep going?
I find myself on many lists, I'm sure. I'm sure that's true, Lauren. I'm sure that's accurate.
So I speak my mind often, so why not just keep going with it? May as well just go all out and say it. The earth is flat, birds are government drones, and we've never set foot on the moon, and Joe Biden received 81 million votes in the 2020 election. So let's just see how many lists we could get on here today.
Okay.
I
I don't
mean,
know how
what
to
do you
take that
want
one.
me to? Great job, Republicans. You guys should be ashamed of yourselves. You guys should be ashamed of your $174,000 a year. Lauren Boebert couldn't find her way out of a paper bag if her life depended upon it. And she's reached the threshold of tenure. You know what I mean? Like she's getting a pension for life for this work. Should we all be depressed that none of us can survive, but Laura Boebert's getting a pension? Now, this will cheer you up. Here's Rudy Giuliani's watch collection being auctioned off to give the money to Ruby Freeman and Shay Moss.
Turning over all of Mayor Giuliani's watches and ring as required by a court order in the case involving 2 women election workers in Georgia. This right here, folks, this is the accumulation of 60 years of hard work. Many of these watches hold great sentimental value, and he's being forced to turn all these over under court order. Again, the accumulation of 60 years of hard work, much of it dedicated public service.
Yep, turn them on over, Rudy. Nobody cares. Give the money to who's owed. It's stupid watches. No one cares, weirdo. Sorry. I already showed these clips. Oh, wait. You guys know Debbie Wasserman Schultz, right? She is a force to be reckoned with. Listen to her dragging Tulsi Gabbard. This was this morning.
Tulsi Gabbard is someone who has met with war criminals, violated the Department of State's guidance, and secretly, clandestinely went to Syria and met with Assad, who gassed and attacked his own people with chemical weapons. She's considered to be essentially, by most assessments, a Russian asset, and would be the most
Is that how you
dangerous...
consider her? Is that what you consider her?
Oh, yes. There's no question. I consider her someone who is likely a Russian asset, who would be as the DNI responsible for managing our entire intelligence community, hold all of our most significant intelligence information and secrets, and essentially would be a direct line to our enemies. And so the irresponsibility of these...
I love Debbie Wasserman Schultz. That woman always says what she thinks. A treasure. One of Florida's last treasures. Okay, so you guys, this is our last clip today because I wanted to show you guys this. Remember I played that video? Robert Reich, he used to be the former labor secretary. He's a professor at Berkeley and an economist, and he's been making a series of videos about what has gone wrong in America. Well, the first time he posted, because I am a huge follower of his, was before the election, and he reposted it yesterday. And I think it's important that we learn something. Again, this is all in the outline. If you want to link to the Discord to access this outline, I think this is one of the videos you can play at Thanksgiving. Just message at Feliz Navidad Live, because I think people need to remember history and why we're in the situation we're in now.
Fascism, backed by big money, is one of the most dangerous of all political alliances. We saw it in 1930s Germany, when industrial giants bailed out a cash-strapped Nazi party right before Hitler's election, thinking that Hitler would protect their money and power. We're seeing something similar now. Earlier this year, the GOP was running out of money, so Trump turned to his wealthy backers for help. Many super-rich donors who once criticized Trump for stoking the violence of January 6th have since had a change of heart, deciding their profits are worth more than our democracy. Trump has promised them that if elected, he'll extend his 2017 tax cuts that went mainly to the wealthy beyond 2025, when they're scheduled to expire. And he's hinted at even more.
You're rich as hell. We're going to give you tax cuts?
He promised oil executives he would scrap regulations favoring electric vehicles and wind energy if they would give his campaign $1 billion. The Trump White House is for sale, and the wealthy are buying. 50 billionaire families gave at least $600 million in political donations as of May, with over 2/3 going to support GOP candidates and conservative causes. Elon Musk, one of the world's richest men, who also controls and manipulates one of the world's largest communications platforms, has committed to spending millions of dollars a month to elect Trump. And Trump has promised to make it worth Musk's while.
We have to make life good for us smart people, and he's as smart as you get.
In previous videos, I've highlighted alarming similarities between fascist regimes of the past and Trumpism. The alignment of American billionaires with Trump's anti-democracy movement is one of the most dangerous parallels. The billionaires want the rest of us to fight each other so we don't look up and see where all the wealth and power have gone. So we don't join together and raise taxes on the super rich to finance childcare, better schools, our healthcare system, everything else we need. They fear democracy because there are far more of us than there are of them. We need to see through their fear tactics and vote in overwhelming numbers this November. We can learn from history and spot the danger. We are not doomed to repeat it.
So again, how many times have I said, that's why I'm always saying this. The whole point of culture wars is that we fight each other about who's in what bathroom. None of that S matters. We're all being robbed by the same people every single day. Everywhere else in the developed world, they tax the rich to have childcare, to have health care, to have other basic services.
It's true. It's true. I love how many people come up and have talked to me about how they liked Trump's tax breaks, and then they slowly go into trickle-down economics, which we have data that doesn't work. It does not work. We have data for over 40, 50 years, and they keep selling it to their constituents as if it's the best thing for America.
And then every time Democrats get in office and we start balancing the budget, they blame it on us, right? They say like, see, it's because Democrats keep getting in office. The money would have trickled down. It's like, no, they literally, this capitalism is a sine wave, right? The richest people, the capitalists who have the capital, when the economy busts, that's when these huge wealth transfers happen. And does the money trickle down to when the economy busts? No, it trickles up. That's what the busts are. They're wealth transfers to the billionaires. Like, I mean, either we can recognize, as somebody who sees the world in patterns, like that's all I see. I see human behavior patterns. I see larger patterns of the economy, and like the pattern could not be clearer at this point. I don't know how to help people if they can't see it. Pickles? Are you going live tonight? What's your plan for the weekend?
I am. I'm going to go live probably in an hour or two. I'm going to eat and stretch, and then I'll probably be live till 1 or 2 a.m.
Nice. We really are getting on the same schedule. Very impressive.
Yeah. You're welcome to join if you want.
You're going to start living in the daytime?
I know. I'll be a day walker.
I actually love living at night too, but then you have a couple hours during the night to yourself, which is even better. That's the best time.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So Pickles will be live later tonight, guys. I highly suggest his lives if you want to listen to some debates that are actually in good faith and interesting. I highly recommend it. Follow Pickles if you have not followed him. This show, I will be back on Monday doing more of the same, presenting the news, because God knows we're going to have a lot of BS to call out. Like, that's our job. Someone said they sent me a message about the Discord to FeliceNavi.live. If you want to join the Discord or have a message about the Discord, send it to FeliceNavi.live, and we will get you a link to the Discord or address concerns, whatever they are. Okay, so Pickles will be live in a couple hours. I'm going to go walk and recalibrate, like you said, and eat. I haven't eaten today. And then I will be back. I'll probably see you later tonight, Pickles.
Okay, thank you so much for having me, and thank you guys for all the support and all the coins and all the follows. Thank you so much.
Have a great weekend, guys. See you guys later tonight. Don't change for anyone. Later, Gators.
Bye.